The Sigma male, the enigmatic charmer who naturally draws women in. In the landscape of modern masculinity, the Sigma male stands apart, a rare and intriguing archetype often mistaken for being distant or indifferent, when in reality, he exudes a quiet, magnetic allure. While the alpha male thrives on dominance and social control, and the beta male seeks approval through people-pleasing, the Sigma male answers to no one. He moves through life with self-contained confidence, neither chasing validation nor conforming to expectations. His power lies in his unpredictability, intelligence, and effortless self-assurance, making him irresistibly compelling without even trying. Unlike traditional flirtatious styles that rely on overt displays of attraction, the Sigma male's approach is subtle, cerebral, and enigmatic. He doesn't perform for attention, he commands it naturally through his presence alone. His conversations are layered with wit and depth, his body language relaxed yet intentional, and his emotional availability just selective enough to keep women intrigued. He doesn't play games, but his very nature creates a psychological pull, making women want to decode him. This isn't about manipulation, it's about authenticity combined with emotional restraint. The Sigma male doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't beg for attention, he earns it effortlessly. And because he remains detached from outcomes, women often find themselves pursuing him, drawn in by his unshakable independence and quiet dominance. Below, we break down the 8 key aspects of Sigma male flirting, revealing how he ignites attraction without saying too much, and why women are instinctively drawn to his elusive energy. Number 1. Subtle and non-needy body language, the art of silent magnetism. The Sigma male's body language speaks volumes through its very restraint. Unlike men who broadcast their interest with exaggerated gestures or constant physical escalation, he communicates through an economy of movement that paradoxically draws more attention. His posture remains effortlessly composed, shoulders relaxed but not slouched, spine straight without appearing rigid. This physical equilibrium signals both confidence and approachability, creating an intriguing middle ground between aloofness and eagerness. His eye contact follows a deliberate rhythm, maintaining just enough connection to show engagement while frequently breaking gaze to avoid intensity. This pattern creates a subtle push-pull dynamic that keeps others slightly off balance. When listening, his chin may tilt slightly downward while his eyes remain uplifted, a position that conveys both attentiveness and quiet judgment. His hands move sparingly, with gestures that are precise rather than expansive, suggesting he measures his words as carefully as his movements. The Sigma male's facial expressions operate on a gradient of subtlety. Rather than broad grins or exaggerated reactions, he employs micro-expressions, the faintest quirk of an eyebrow, a momentary tightening around the eyes when amused, a lip that threatens to smile but never fully commits. These fractional displays create an air of mystery, compelling others to lean in closer, to pay sharper attention, to work harder for his approval. His breathing remains steady and unhurried even in charged moments, broadcasting an unshakable inner calm that becomes quietly contagious to those around him. What makes his body language truly distinctive is its self-containment. There's no nervous energy leaking out through tapping feet or restless fingers. His movements flow with deliberate economy, each gesture serving a purpose. When he does touch, perhaps brushing a strand of hair from his companion's face or guiding someone through a crowd with a light hand at the small of their back, the contact feels electric precisely because of its rarity and precision. This restraint creates an intriguing paradox. The less he physically engages, the more others become aware of his physical presence in the space. Number 2. Intelligent and engaging conversation, the intellectual seduction. For the Sigma male, conversation is not a means to an end, it is the art of attraction itself. While most men rely on tired compliments or transparent attempts to impress, the Sigma male engages in a mental dance that stimulates before it seduces. He understands that true connection is forged not through flattery, but through the electricity of ideas. His approach is neither interview nor interrogation, it is an exchange of intellectual energy, a meeting of minds that feels more like a sparring session than small talk. The depth beneath the surface. He avoids predictable topics like work or hobbies unless they reveal something unexpected. Instead, he steers conversations toward philosophical dilemmas, psychological insights, or cultural paradoxes, not to showcase his intelligence, but because these are the subjects that genuinely fascinate him. His questions are designed to provoke thought, not just answers. What's something you passionately believed in years ago that you'd now argue against? If you could instantly make one human behavior socially unacceptable, what would it be? What's a hill you die on, even if you knew you were wrong? These questions serve a dual purpose. They reveal her depth, or lack thereof, while demonstrating his own. He isn't just asking, he's testing compatibility on a cerebral level. The weapon of wit. His humor is a calculated risk, dry, sharp, and often laced with just enough darkness to separate those who get it from those who don't. He doesn't tell jokes, he makes observations so incisive they become funny. A raised eyebrow, a perfectly timed pause, or a single sardonic remark can do more to spark attraction than a dozen rehearsed punchlines. This isn't comedy for applause, it's a filter. If she laughs, she's his kind of person. If she doesn't, he adjusts accordingly, either recalibrating or mentally moving on. His wit isn't performative, it's diagnostic, revealing whether she can match his wavelength. The art of listening like a strategist. Most men listen to respond. The Sigma male listens to decode. When she speaks, he absorbs not just her words but the subtext, the hesitations, the contradictions, the unspoken convictions. His responses are precise, tailored to her thoughts in a way that makes her feel truly understood, often for the first time. He doesn't rush to fill silences. Instead, he lets them linger, creating space for her to reveal more than she intended. This controlled engagement, giving just enough attention to draw her out, but never so much that he seems desperate, makes the conversation feel like a collaborative discovery rather than a transaction. The after effect, intellectual haunting. By the time the conversation ends, she isn't just charmed, she's intellectually disarmed. His words replay in her mind, not because they were sweet, but because they were stimulating. He hasn't sold himself, he's made her want to uncover more. This is the Sigma male's ultimate seduction. He doesn't chase, he invites pursuit by being the most interesting person in the room, then letting that interest simmer long after he's gone. Number 3, the art of the mysterious vibe, cultivating intrigue through strategic revelation. The Sigma male understands that true allure lies not in what is said, but in what is withheld. He operates on the principle that mystery breeds attraction, carefully curating his self-disclosure like an artist adding brushstrokes to a canvas. Unlike those who vomit their life story at the first opportunity, he reveals himself in measured fragments, a cryptic comment about living abroad, a passing reference to an unusual skill, or a smirk when asked about a particular scar. These breadcrumbs of information create a psychological itch that compels others to seek more. His mystery isn't manufactured, it's the natural byproduct of a man who genuinely values his privacy. He might mention climbing Kilimanjaro without elaborating, or casually drop that he speaks 3 languages, then change the subject. This creates an aura of unfathomable depth, the sense that there are entire chapters of his life waiting to be discovered. The key lies in his comfort with silence. Where others rush to fill gaps in conversation, he lets them linger, allowing the other person's imagination to do the work of seduction for him. This approach serves multiple purposes. It filters out those seeking instant gratification, positions him as a prize to be earned, and most importantly, preserves his power in the interaction. By never fully revealing his hand, he ensures the dynamic remains on his terms, always leaving them wanting one more conversation, one more revelation, one more moment of his attention. 4. The power of emotional independence, the ultimate attraction multiplier. The Sigma male's emotional independence is his most potent weapon in the realm of attraction. Unlike those who seek validation or derive their self-worth from external approval, he operates from an unshakable internal foundation. This isn't aloofness or emotional detachment, it's a profound sense of self-sufficiency that makes his presence magnetic. He doesn't cling, demand reassurance, or fish for compliments because his sense of fulfillment comes from within. This rare quality creates a psychological pull, as people are instinctively drawn to those who don't need them but choose them. His independence manifests in subtle yet powerful ways. He's comfortable spending time alone, pursuing his passions without seeking an audience. When in conversation, he doesn't anxiously monitor reactions or adjust his opinions to please others. Instead, he speaks his truth with calm conviction, unbothered by whether it's met with agreement or resistance. This lack of desperation for approval signals deep self-respect, a trait that subconsciously elevates his status in social dynamics. Women, in particular, find this irresistible because it contrasts sharply with the neediness or performative confidence displayed by most men. Emotional independence also allows the Sigma male to maintain healthy boundaries. He engages with others on his own terms, never sacrificing his values or peace of mind for temporary validation. If a connection fades or a relationship proves unfulfilling, he walks away without drama or resentment. This ability to detach gracefully reinforces his aura of mystery and self-assurance, leaving others intrigued by his unwavering composure. Paradoxically, the less he seeks to control outcomes, the more influence he holds, because his indifference to rejection makes his attention feel like a rare gift rather than an expectation. Ultimately, the Sigma male's emotional independence isn't about suppressing emotions but mastering them. He feels deeply but isn't ruled by fleeting impulses or societal pressures. This equilibrium makes him a stabilizing force in chaotic environments, a man who doesn't just attract others but retains their fascination. In a world where neediness is commonplace, his self-contained energy stands out, making him not just a fleeting interest but an unforgettable presence. Number 5. Confidence without arrogance, the silent power of self-possession. The Sigma male embodies a rare form of confidence that exists beyond the need for external validation, a quiet, unshakable certainty in his own worth that requires no audience. Unlike the performative bravado of insecure men, his self-assurance manifests in subtle but profound ways: the relaxed steadiness of his gaze, the unhurried cadence of his speech, the way he occupies space without apology yet without intrusion. This is not the loud, chest-thumping confidence of someone trying to convince the world and themselves of their value, but the deep, resonant confidence of a man who has nothing to prove. His comfort with silence speaks volumes. Where others rush to fill empty spaces in conversation with nervous chatter or unnecessary explanations, the Sigma male understands the eloquence of pause. His silences are thoughtful, not awkward moments of intentional restraint that create gravity around his words when he does choose to speak. This ability to be perfectly at ease in stillness projects an almost regal self-containment, making every word that breaks the silence feel deliberate and worth hearing. The Sigma male's authority comes not from dominating conversations but from his selective participation. When he speaks, his words carry weight not because he raises his voice, but because he chooses his moments carefully. His opinions are offered as considered perspectives, not absolute decrees, yet there's an undeniable substance behind them that commands respect. This balance of humility and conviction creates a magnetic pull people instinctively lean in when he speaks, not because he demands it, but because they sense he only speaks when he has something worth saying. Most importantly, his confidence is self-sustaining. He doesn't seek or require constant affirmation because his sense of self isn't tied to others' perceptions. This emotional independence makes him paradoxically more attractive the less he needs validation, the more freely it's offered to him. His very indifference to approval becomes the ultimate proof of his confidence, creating a virtuous cycle where his lack of need for attention consistently earns him more of it. Number 6. Observant and adaptive flirting, the dance of social intelligence. The Sigma male approaches social interactions with the precision of a tactician and the adaptability of a chameleon. His flirting style isn't a one-size-fits-all routine but a dynamic, ever-shifting strategy informed by acute social awareness. He understands that genuine connection requires reading the room with near-clinical accuracy, then calibrating his approach accordingly. This isn't manipulation, it's emotional intelligence operating at its highest level. His observational skills border on the preternatural. He notices micro-expressions, the slight dilation of pupils that indicates interest, the subconscious lean-in that signals engagement, the almost imperceptible crossing of arms that suggests discomfort. These subtle cues form a roadmap that guides his every move. When interest is mutual, he escalates with masterful subtlety, a well-timed brush of the hand, a gradual decrease in personal space, a shift in conversation topics from casual to more personal. Each advance is carefully measured to match the other person's comfort level, creating a natural progression that feels inevitable rather than forced. Conversely, when met with disinterest, the Sigma male demonstrates his most powerful trait, the ability to walk away with dignity intact. There's no awkward persistence, no desperate attempts to salvage the interaction, just a graceful exit that leaves the door slightly ajar without appearing needy. This emotional detachment isn't coldness, it's self-respect in action. Ironically, this willingness to disengage often sparks second thoughts in the other person, as human psychology tends to value what withdraws more than what pursues. The true artistry of his adaptive flirting lies in its seamlessness. He transitions effortlessly between roles, charming raconteur one moment, attentive listener the next, playful tease in one interaction, deep conversationalist in another. This chameleon-like ability isn't inauthentic but rather reflects his understanding that different people respond to different energies. By meeting people where they are rather than forcing them to meet him on his terms, he creates connections that feel both exciting and strangely comfortable, the hallmark of a master social strategist. Ultimately, the Sigma male's adaptive approach ensures he never appears to be trying too hard, which paradoxically makes his efforts more effective. His interactions flow with the natural rhythm of a well-choreographed dance, sometimes leading, sometimes following, but always in perfect sync with his partner's movements. This dynamic flexibility, combined with his keen observational skills, makes his romantic pursuits feel less like games and more like mutually enjoyable explorations, a quality that sets him apart in a world full of men who either try too hard or not hard enough. Number 7. Unpredictable yet genuine. The Sigma male's unpredictability is a masterclass in authentic social dynamics, serving as a breath of fresh air in a world where most interactions follow tired, predictable scripts. His mind operates on a different wavelength, where others carefully curate their personas to fit social expectations. He flows effortlessly between intellectual depth and light-hearted spontaneity. One conversation might begin with an analysis of Nietzsche's will to power before seamlessly transitioning into witty observations about pop culture, then suddenly shifting to a surprisingly vulnerable personal revelation. These rapid yet natural transitions create a thrilling sense of unpredictability that keeps people perpetually engaged and slightly off balance in the most intriguing way. What makes this quality so compelling is that it never feels contrived or performative. While some might mistake his unpredictability for inconsistency, those who pay attention recognize it as the hallmark of a truly multifaceted individual. He isn't being unpredictable for attention, he simply has too many dimensions to be easily categorized. His philosophical musings come from genuine curiosity, his humor from authentic amusement, and his occasional silence from real contemplation. This refusal to be pigeonholed creates an irresistible aura of mystery that draws people in like moths to a flame. They find themselves fascinated by the way he can discuss quantum physics with the same passion he brings to analyzing a basketball game, or how he transitions from intense eye contact to a mischievous smirk in seconds. The psychological impact of this unpredictability is profound. In a world where most people telegraph their emotions and intentions clearly, the Sigma male's mercurial nature triggers a powerful response. Our brains are wired to pay extra attention to unpredictable stimuli. This explains why people become so captivated by him, often finding themselves replaying conversations in their minds, analyzing his words, and eagerly anticipating their next interaction. His authenticity in this unpredictability is key. He's not putting on an act, but rather expressing different facets of his complex personality as they naturally emerge. This creates a paradox where his very unpredictability becomes predictable in its authenticity, making people feel they're glimpsing something rare and genuine in a world full of social performers. Number 8. Knowing when to walk away. The Sigma male's ability to disengage is perhaps his most psychologically powerful trait, a silent demonstration of strength that speaks louder than any words ever could. His exits are never dramatic, no slamming doors, no final ultimatums, just a quiet withdrawal when he recognizes an interaction has reached its natural conclusion. This isn't the cold indifference of narcissism, but rather the healthy detachment of someone who understands his own worth. He possesses an almost preternatural ability to read social energy, detecting the moment when a conversation has become forced, when a connection has faded, or when someone's interest isn't genuine. And when that moment comes, he doesn't linger out of obligation or chase validation, he simply moves on. This behavior stems from a fundamental understanding of human nature and social dynamics. The Sigma male recognizes that persistence in the face of disinterest rarely changes outcomes, it only diminishes self-respect. His willingness to walk away creates a powerful psychological phenomenon known as scarcity value in social psychology. When someone demonstrates they can live without your attention, it paradoxically makes their attention more valuable. This explains why people often find themselves drawn back to him after he's withdrawn. His absence creates a vacuum that demands to be filled. The elegance of his exits lies in their ambiguity. He never burns bridges with dramatic farewells, leaving just enough mystery that people wonder if they imagined the connection or misinterpreted his interest. This uncertainty keeps the door slightly ajar psychologically, often causing others to reappear with renewed interest. His departures aren't manipulative tactics, they're the natural consequence of his high standards and emotional intelligence. He understands that quality connections can't be forced, and that sometimes the most powerful statement one can make is to simply stop participating in an interaction that no longer serves either party. What makes this trait so admirable is its foundation in self-awareness. The Sigma male walks away not out of pride or pettiness, but because he recognizes that staying in unfulfilling situations benefits no one. This discernment creates a magnetic paradox: the less available he makes himself, the more others value his presence. His exits are never about punishing others, but about honoring himself, and this quiet dignity ultimately makes him unforgettable in the minds of those fortunate enough to have engaged with him, however briefly. Final thoughts. The Sigma male's approach to flirting and attraction is a masterclass in subtlety, depth, and effortless magnetism. Unlike conventional dating tactics that rely on overt displays of charm or scripted pickup lines, his method is rooted in authenticity, intelligence, and emotional control. He doesn't seek attention, he commands it naturally through his presence alone. His conversations are engaging yet unpredictable, rich with insight, wit, and a hint of mystery that keeps others intrigued. He listens intently, responds thoughtfully, and isn't afraid of silence, using it to his advantage to create tension and curiosity. His confidence is quiet but undeniable, radiating from a place of self-assurance rather than arrogance. He understands the power of restraint, knowing that true attraction is built on intrigue and emotional resonance, not forced validation. What truly sets the Sigma male apart is his refusal to conform to traditional dating scripts. He doesn't play the role of the eager pursuer or the aloof player. He exists outside these labels, forging his own path. His interactions are genuine, his interest is earned rather than freely given, and his detachment isn't a tactic but a reflection of his high standards. In a world where so many people try too hard to be liked, the Sigma male's effortless allure serves as a reminder that true magnetism comes from within. It's the quiet confidence, the depth of character, and the unshakable self-respect that make him unforgettable. He doesn't just attract others, he leaves a lasting impression, one that lingers long after the conversation ends. Ultimately, the Sigma male's approach to flirting isn't about manipulation or performance, it's about being authentically compelling, and that's what makes him so undeniably captivating. If you found this video insightful or relatable, why not join our growing community? Subscribe to the channel for more content exploring the mindsets, traits, and behaviors of Sigma males. Your engagement helps us dive deeper into these unique perspectives. Be sure to like this video if it resonated with you, share it with someone who might appreciate it, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Remember, as a Sigma male or someone inspired by their path, staying true to yourself is the ultimate strength. Keep evolving, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video.